Okay, yesterday we left off about rain hats, and if you want to put a tissue into a hat because it's too big, or into your shoes. So we learned you're allowed to, but you should leave it there. You shouldn't take it out on Shabbos. Just leave it there for the entire Shabbos. Okay, now we also learned there's a big argument in contemporary halacha about wearing a rain hat over like such a hat. Now we're not talking about a hood. That's the whole different story. That's for sure you're allowed to wear. But now to take a plastic bag, to take a plastic bag and just put it over your hat, everybody says you're not allowed to.
Even if it's from Milat market?
Yeah, even if it's some Rodeo Drive, you still can't. Because the bottom line is it's not a garment. People don't wear plastic bags as a garment, okay? But there are special rain hats made out of plastic that are made to fit over the heads. So, No, not a pond. It's actually a piece of plastic, but it's in the shape of a hat that's normal. It's not a plastic bag, garbage bag. So there are many opinions in halacha that say that you're allowed to wear it on Shabbos. Why? We learned that you can't wear something just to protect the garment. So they say that the bottom line is if the hat gets wet, your head's going to get wet, and therefore that protects that. And other people, since Moshe Feinstein is very strict, that you're not allowed to, Minchas Yitzchak does allow it. There's a big controversy in halacha whether you can wear it. But a woman would be allowed to wear a rain bonnet over, let's say, a wig, because if the water goes straight through the wig, so then she's protecting her head. So then according to all opinions, she would be able to wear it. A hood. Now what happens if you have a jacket with a hood? So to wear the hood is for sure not a problem. What happens if I'm not wearing the hood? It's just laying down, That's also not a problem because it's part of the garment. Like we said, you don't have to button every button, you don't have to, so that's not an issue at all. Gloves, okay, we started talking about gloves the other day a little bit. Gloves is a whole discussion in actual Shulchan Aruch about wearing gloves on Shabbos. Now, even though a glove is a garment, it is a garment, but nevertheless, a lot of opinions in halacha say you're not allowed to wear gloves in the street on Shabbos. Why? Two reasons. Either you're going to meet somebody, a friend, and you're going to take off the glove to give Shalom Aleichem, and then you're going to forget, and you're going to just keep walking, holding the glove in your hands. So it's like a Vaad Rabbonim. Second thing is you might want to scratch your head or something like that, then you'll take off the glove. In other words, a glove itself is a garment. That's not a problem, the glove. The problem is, Chazal were afraid you can't wear certain things on Shabbos because you might take it off, and then you're going to end up carrying it. So again, by women and kids, they're much more lenient in most places for women and kids to wear. The Alter Rebbe says you should be better machmir not to wear gloves on Shabbos unless it's really, really cold, he writes. So then there's a heter to wear gloves on Shabbos. But if the gloves are fastened to the garment, then there's no problem with it. For sure, you could wear them on Shabbos. Now also we have, they're not so common today, but years ago people used to wear, there was like a long thing and you put both hands in at the same time. They're called mittens, whatever they're called. So that for sure you're allowed to wear on Shabbos. Why? Because what are you afraid? You're going to take out one hand and give Shalom Aleichem, but the other hand isn't there. You're for sure going to be wearing it. Earmuffs, we said, is for sure not a problem. Okay? But things that are not normally worn as garments, things that you wear to protect your clothing, for instance, a bib. Kids wear bibs, adults wear bibs, okay? Or an apron. Now, an apron itself is not a garment, really. An apron is made not to get your clothing dirty. So an apron is not a garment. So if somebody wants to wear an apron in the street on Shabbos, or a bib on Shabbos, so then you wouldn't be allowed to wear those, because they're not garments. They're just garments that you don't wear them as a garment. You wear them not to get your garments dirty. So that wouldn't be allowed. Another thing is, sometimes people have ear infections. So they put a piece of cotton in the ear. So if they're wearing it for medical purposes, like they have infection or whatever it may be, that they don't want to get cold air in the ear, then you're allowed to wear them on Shabbos. If you're wearing the cotton as earplugs, because you don't want to hear the noise in the street, so then you're not allowed to wear them on Shabbos. Because again, you're not wearing it as a garment. But when you put them in, the cotton in the ear, if its purpose of cotton is to absorb fluid or whatever it is, then you're allowed to do it. Same thing with handkerchiefs. Now handkerchiefs, if people want to wear it as a belt, let's say before Shabbos you tie a few handkerchiefs together and then you can wear it as a belt or as a scarf, so then you're allowed to do it. But if you're wearing it underneath your shirt collar, to absorb the sweat, that the shirt shouldn't get dirty, then you can't wear that out like that on Shabbos. Because again, you're doing it to protect the garment. You're not doing it to keep to give yourself warmth. What?
Scarf, how much do you have to wrap it around you?
You don't have to wrap it at all, because people wear scarves any way you wear it. As long as, even if it's, let's say you wear a scarf and it's just hanging down, that's the way people wear scarves. So that's not a problem. If you want to wrap it, the wrapping around is not a problem, but what?
It's remarkable that Shabbat is supposed to be a joyful, comfortable event, and then yet anything that has to do with comfort, about like the sweat on the day and night, or not hearing too much noise, it's discounted. Yet other things that seem to be frivolous, we are strictly enforcing it.
So if somebody enjoys going for a car ride to the beach on Shabbos, I am asking, are you allowed to go in the car because it's enjoyable?
No. I'm talking about you're on your way to synagogue, and you're it's like the sun, and you don't want to feel the sweat. You rather have a cotton on
so then you're not wearing it for yourself. You're wearing it that the garment shouldn't get dirty.
No,
That's not.
I was very specific.
Yeah.
Because of convenience, you don't want to feel the sweat. You'd rather have something on your neck.
If it's under the collar of the shirt, you can't. If it's over the collar, then you could. Under the collar, okay, you can't, because then it's there to protect the garment. If you're wearing it not to protect the garment, yeah, then you would be allowed to.
You don't want to hear the street noise too much on Shabbat.
But that's still carrying. It's still carrying. It's not a garment.
But then you said, if it's for medical purposes, it's okay to carry.
Medical purposes, because then you don't want to get the ear inside, air blowing on it and get infected, or you have excess liquid.
So you can say in Shabbat you want to infuse it with tranquility.
You can't do that. That you can't do. Yeah, you have a tie clip. Years ago, they used to, today they don't wear them so much. A tie clip, in our circles, we didn't wear them on Shabbos. But halachically, you're allowed to wear a tie clip on Shabbos, to keep the tie to the shirt, to hold it. Because again, yeah, you could, because that's a garment.
Why not in our circle?
Because we didn't wear all these things. Watches also, we don't wear on Shabbos. We don't wear watches on Yom Tov either.
So how's it different than cufflink we use?
Huh?
Cufflink we used to use as
Cufflinks is mamish made as a part of the garment.
And a tie clip?
Tie clip you can do without it. You can do without it. Huh? We don't wear watches on Shabbos. We don't wear watches on Yom Tov also, even when you're allowed to carry. What?
You can't wear any watch.
No, I'm saying I said in our circles, you're allowed to wear a watch on Shabbos, definitely Yom Tov. You're allowed to wear a watch. Some people don't, but not because you're not allowed to. Okay? So, like in our circles, we don't wear watches not only on Shabbat, we don't wear watches on Yom Tov either.
Why?
Again, because we don't want to carry things that are not necessary. You could do without it. But a watch is not mukh. I mean, it's in carry. You're wearing you actually wear a watch. Now, if you have a watch, by the way, somebody just asked me this the other day. If you have a self-winding watch, those of you that remember the good old days, you had a self-winding, not a battery, right? So your movement of the hand would keep the watch running. So now the question was then, in those days the question came up when they came out with those watches, are you allowed to wear it on Shabbos? Because by moving your hand, you're actually winding the watch. What's wrong with winding a watch on Shabbos? So winding a watch on Shabbos, if it's not working, let's say the watch stopped, okay? Years before pre-batteries, right? You used to wind it, and less than 24 hours. So if the watch stopped working and you wind it, you're actually fixing something broken. A watch that doesn't work is basically like a broken watch, right? It's not functioning. Unless, I'll tell you in a second what women are allowed to wear sometimes a watch that doesn't work. But men are not allowed to wear a watch that doesn't work. So if you wind the watch, so then you're fixing a broken vessel on Shabbos. So that would be questionable. Some people permit it, most people, one second. But the self-winding watch, all the poskim said like this. If the watch is able to run 24 hours, because if you move your hand, then the watch is fully wound up. So it could run for 24 hours.
At least.
Yeah, at least 24 hours. So then, when you wear it on Shabbos, you're really not doing anything. It's already wound enough to go on Shabbos. You're not fixing anything. You're not doing anything. So that would be not, if you wear a watch on Shabbos, that wouldn't be an issue wearing a watch on Shabbos. But there are certain expensive watches that you had, the face was completely black. You couldn't see anything. You wanted to see the time, you pressed the button. Remember those watches? Huh? Whatever. You press the button, then you see the time. That for sure you can't wear on Shabbos, because you're going to come to, by mistake, press the button and then a light goes on to see the time. So that for sure you can't wear.
So if you wind, if it's a regular winding watch, if it's still going.
If it's still going, you're allowed to wind it.
You are, okay.
Yeah, because you're not fixing it.
Right.
It's working. Now, 1 second. Now, what happens if a watch the battery died? Even today, let's say your battery died, okay? So you're not allowed to wear the watch on Shabbos, because then it's not a garment anymore. But if it's a jewelry piece, in other words, men will normally not wear a watch that doesn't work. Women who have, let's say, very gold watches, with diamonds, whatever it is, they're wearing it as a jewelry piece. So then, a woman, even if she's not working, she'll wear it anyway, because she doesn't care about the time. She is just a nice jewelry piece. So a woman would be allowed to wear, but not a junky watch that's broken. Then a woman couldn't wear it either, because she's not wearing it as jewelry, she's wearing it as a watch. But if a woman has a jewelry piece and a nice, expensive watch, so then they would be allowed to wear it on Shabbos, because it's a jewelry piece. Like any other jewelry that we learned the minigas today, they wear it. In fact, one of the ways that it's done in New York a lot, in more places, for women needed to wear a key on Shabbos. We were talking about putting it on a belt or on an elastic with that whole thing. What women would do, and it's still done today, they take a key and they put diamonds on it. Jewelry, they have places in New York that do this. They actually make a pin out of it. They have a key with a pin. It's connected to a pin, right? It's one piece, the key with a pin, and it's a jewelry piece with some nice diamonds on it, and they wear it as a brooch.
It can be very expensive. It's not like
It doesn't have to be real diamonds for $10 million. It could be fake diamonds, or could be, as long as it's a decorative piece, then it's a piece of jewelry. That's what a lot of women do, and then they take it off. They unpin it and open the door and whatever. So what?
Some watches that play movements, you get white.
We just spoke about that.
No, not the ones that you do this white.
We just spoke about self-winding watches, they're called.
So the self-winding watches on Shabbat, if it's working, it's fine.
You're allowed to wear it.
But on Shabbat, you extend the life.
But you're not fixing anything.
Yeah, but after Shabbat.
Extending the life.
So that's not a problem. That's not a problem. You're not fixing anything. It doesn't matter. You could do it. What?
In our circles,
Shh. What?
in our circles, a pin as well.
We don't wear those pins.
Not those pins. Meaning like if a U.S. flag or a...
In our circles, we don't wear them on Shabbos. What? No. If there's no Erev, people don't, halachically you're allowed to wear a watch on Shabbos, even if there's no Erev.
Can you wear rolling bars on Shabbos?
What about men that do it before rain?
If a man is wearing a jewelry piece, and he's wearing a watch as a jewelry piece, even if it's not working, but he's wearing it as a jewelry piece, and you go according to that opinion that men are allowed to wear jewelry on Shabbos, which itself is a separate issue, women, the minig as they do. Whether men, that's a separate issue, many people permit it. So then if he's wearing it as a jewelry piece, then he could wear it. But if it's a watch that's broken, a man doesn't wear a broken watch.
So you have to make sure that the watch, even if it's very expensive, it has to look expensive. It shouldn't look simple watch.
It should look expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So if this watch,
But don't buy it with the intent of returning it.
so if
So then you're not allowed to buy it.
you have a watch and you wind it yourself, and let's say you forgot to wind it, it's third day, whatever, and it stopped working, you have to take it off, right? Because it's not working.
Yom Tov, yeah, it might be a din of muktzah. It might be muktzah. Yeah, it might even be muktzah. If it's broken, it's like a broken utensil.
Yeah, so you have to take it off.
Yeah. There are opinions that hold on Yom Tov you can wear a watch. I'll give you another example. It's later, but what happens if they change the clock on Yom Tov an hour ahead?
Yeah, an hour ahead is going to be this Sunday.
Very good.
Sunday, really?
Now what happens, it happened a few times Pesach, the night of Pesach, the night of Pesach they changed the clock. So now are you allowed to change your clock on Shabbos? Is that called, this is the question halacha, is it called fixing the watch? Because now it's the wrong time. So technically it's like a broken watch.